Enlightened World Network. Dr. Ruth Anderson and Teri Angel here for a very special event today. Through our meditations, we have been asked to work on the region, including Luxor, Jerusalem, and Syria. We have done that in a couple of meditations now, and they asked us to take it a step further. They asked that Teri provide a session of 7 generational sacred alignment for those 3 areas in that region. So that's what we're doing here today. Teri Angel, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Ruth. Such a delight always to be with you. Welcome, everyone who's viewing this, whether you're doing it now or at some point. I had asked the angels what we need to include in this blessing. We're going to look at it at a distance, like we're up above, joining Metatron, the angel who brings in the crystalline grid from the etheric realm. So I want to just begin with calling in all the angels to be with us, and then we'll focus more on Metatron and joining his efforts to bring this piece forward. So let's do that. Let's go into our hearts, and I would like to call in Archangel Raphael. Raphael comes from the east. He's the angel of healing, and he comes in with the element of air. So that air comes in like a breeze, and I already feel that energy as it's going to help clear the air for 7 generations as we go back and then go forward. Next, we'll invite Archangel Michael to be very present with us. Michael is our protector, our guardian, coming in from the south with the energy of fire. And we're going to, in addition to Michael's fire, we're going to have Saint Germain's violet flame to help clear away some of the energy. From the west, let's call in Archangel Gabriel, asking Gabriel to be present with us for clarity, to help us understand more. Gabriel comes with the energy of water, which is a conduit. And interestingly, we're, I think, crossing water as we work with these 3 places on the earth plane. So thank you, Gabriel, for the clarity that the water is going to bring to us. And then we ask in Archangel Uriel, the angel of the earth, and coming in from the north. So these 4 angels are helping us right now to get situated, grounded in wherever we are, so we can focus our energy going forward. So let's open this with gratitude. Thank you to the angels. Thank you to all of Divine who have given this mission to us to bring forth today. And we open the gates of the generations as we can look back and look through whatever has transpired in these places. And we're going to do them all together. We're not going to go separate with each one. We're going to make it a real unified effort to bring the piece forward. And as we've looked at these areas, Ruth and I were trying to contemplate how we make it a triangle, but we don't. We're supposed to make it into like a crescent. So if you can envision the crescent moon, that's what we're seeing as we have raised our energy up to Metatron and helping bring in that crystalline grid. Now, on the crystalline grid, there are portals of energy. So I'm already seeing Metatron opening up those portals to bring in the alignment with these 3 regions. So thank you for doing so, Metatron. So let's get right into it. So we begin in the present moment. And as we all know, there's a lot of chaos, a lot of conflict. So let's feel into that and ask the angels and ask the divine to clear the present moment of what's happening, to usher in an energy of peace into these areas. And as we visualize that, just see yourself right here with us, those of you participating and watching, even if you're watching it later than when it broadcasts. You can still participate. And we're standing, floating, actually, with Metatron up above, and we're seeing the energy of these three regions: Syria, Jerusalem, and Luxor, Egypt. And as we watch the current situation, we just pray for peace. And we pray that any vows that have been made, any agreements to disagree, to have conflict, to be involved in any kind of activity other than love, which includes the fighting that's going on, we just ask that those vows be dissolved, that peace come in and reign over these three areas. We pray for the inhabitants of each area. And may each one feel this blessing in their heart, feel the clearing that's taking place with these angels as they're lending their energy right now to touch the hearts of the leaders of these regions, as well as the people and any and all who may be involved in fighting and conflicts. We ask the angels to release any vows of poverty, any vows of being kept pushed down, being silent, not being heard or seen. We ask that this generation be the one to end conflict, to really have peace in our world, and starting right in the hearts of each of those inhabitants. So I'm hearing the angels are telling us now to step back. So let's go back one generation before the current one, and just filling into that energy. Metatron is guiding it. He actually turned that grid a little bit so we can have more clarity. And Metatron is receiving any of the energy that's being cleared and taking that up through the portal. And Saint Germain with the violet flame is transmuting that to positive energy in the universe. So in this next generation, we still see conflict. We still see people that are pushed down, not heard, not seen. A lot of rivalry, vows of just fighting. That's the big message that I'm receiving, that there's a lot of vows of retaliation, vows of conquest, and there's poverty going on in some of these places. So let's ask the angels to clear this energy. And if you would join your energy with ours, as we see that being removed, anything that's not of the best and highest good, let's clear that energy now from that generational time. And so now they're saying to go step back another generation. We're going to do 7 total. So going back this next generation, this generation had a concept of peace. And I can feel that. I can hear Metatron showing me that energy of there was an uprising of fighting against the wars, fighting against the conflict, and wanting peace in the areas. So let's go there. And I'm feeling a lot of energy from Egypt, where there's so much wisdom and so much knowledge to bring forth to stop fighting and to bring peace in. So let's acknowledge the ones that are still feeling the effects of the fighting, the effects of the conflicts, and not feeling loved, not feeling seen. And this was an energy where there was some peace that did happen until another uprising occurred, which brought them into the generation we just cleared. We're going to step back another generation. And I'm just feeling into what's here. I'm hearing poverty. There were vows of poverty. There were a lot of separation at that point. Different mindsets, different ones that wanted to be rulers or wanted to be in charge. So there was a lot of uprising among even family members in these three areas, more so in Syria than the other two. But let's look at all of them together and clear that energy for the unity of all three. Anywhere there is bloodshed, we ask that those souls seek the light and be brought to the light, for the energy that's hanging there all around that area, all three areas, for it to be cleared and transmuted and changed to a love, only pure, unconditional love in this area. We're going to go back again, another generation. I see a lot of writing in this generation. 5 generations ago, there was a lot of history that was taking place. So there's a lot being documented and showing the efforts of some to bring in a way of thinking that would help people to come together. But there again was uprisings, there was fighting over land, fighting over food. There was famine during this one. So let's clear that energy of famine, asking the angels to pull out any energy that's low vibration, anything that transpired in these 3 areas, whether it was in one area or bled over to all 3 of them. Let's clear all of that energy, lift it up to Metatron, and then to Saint Germain from there. And Metatron continues to turn that grid. We're going back another generation. And we're just being asked to breathe right now. The air feels kind of dense. There's a heaviness in this generation. So let's hold the torch, hold the light to bring forth a beautiful clearing of that heaviness. I can hear like horses' hooves. I can see the warriors who are ready for war. And it started very, not innocently, but very small, and grew into a bigger event. And that event, there was much bloodshed. So let's clear that energy. Let's bring in the Ho'oponopono for forgiveness in this area. Let's reach those that are sad over what happened, releasing the energy of sadness, grief, so much grief that's being felt in this generation. And we ask the angels now to just pour in love and light, bringing in a lightening of what's happening here, or what happened, and the energy still swirling in this generation. And then they're telling us to go back to that 7th generation backwards. I'm asking Archangel Gabriel to show us clarity. There's a lot of construction going on in this one, a lot of building of the different villages, the different housing that people are using. I can see the pyramids as I'm looking down on Luxor, and I can see the desire to communicate with each other and with these other countries. So let's pour our energy into, especially into the area of Luxor, as they want peace. They want this to permeate across the water, to go into Jerusalem, to go into Syria. Let's see it being received at this point. All the energy that was there of fighting and resistance. We ask the angels to take that energy and transmute it. Bring it up through the portal. Seeing the violet flame come through and transmute anything that was a vow other than loving, other than being that bright light here on earth. So anywhere there was death, dishonor, a lot of fighting that came toward the end of that generation, bleeding into the next generation. And we ask that all of these generations now be cleared of the energy. And we're going to step forward to the 6th. And as we do, there's just a final clearing of the energy and lifting of the vibration to the 4th, the 3rd, 2nd, and the present day time. Come back to there and breathe. And let's look back down that path of those 7 generations. Anything that we missed, anything that was reluctant to be transmuted, we ask for the Creator to look at that and to clear energy for the best and highest good of all involved. Now let's put our focus on the generations to come. We know that whatever happens in the current generation affects the generations going forward by 7. So we're doing this for the children and the children's children and those who will come forward through those generations. So it's the same process. We're going to step forward 1 generation, filling into the children, those that want peace, those that have been taught that peace happens inside. And then we step another generation. Seeing a lot of the history being seen as history and leaving the conflicts and the battles behind. We go forward 4 generations, seeing an energy of love permeating, an energy of peace and desiring that peace. Moving on to the 5th generation forward, seeing now that wisdom and knowledge is coming forth. All wars ended, peace prevailing on our earth. Going 6 generations forward, a continuance of peace, redeveloping, reclarifying the purpose of man on earth. And in that 7th generation forward, seeing a bright light and guidance as each one envelops the energy of peace. Angels, we ask for all of the energy going forward in the DNA of these 7 generations. Be one of peace, be one of love, clearing of any energy that looks anything like battles or fighting, bringing in peace on our earth. And now let's come back to the present again. And just breathe into the air, feeling it cleared, feeling it holy. These are holy places. And I feel Divine Mother standing right beside of me and Ruth as we're looking over these areas, seeing now a symbol of peace in each one, lifting up gratitude, lifting up love, and saying those words of peace. May peace prevail on our earth, in our hearts, in our homes. And so it is. Let's take this moment, just reflect what has happened here. The intention is peace on earth, peace amongst nations. These 3 nations in particular hold such a high influence on what happens with other nations. And it's important that we do these clearings, that we do this energy of love going into each one individually and united together. And let's hold that vision and see that. I want to thank Metatron with the crystalline grid. Metatron, we're so grateful that you can show us visions and show us signs and work with our energy as we can do this work no matter where we are. And Metatron's reminding me to place the crystals. So we're virtually placing an amethyst in Luxor, a rose quartz in Jerusalem, and a clear quartz in Syria. And may these precious gemstones communicate with each other to remind each other to stay peaceful, as a reminder that there's a huge task at hand, and each one has a part to play in bringing in that peace. So thank you, Metatron. Thank you to all the angels. Thank you to the divine, and especially Divine Mother, who participated in this today. And thank you, Ruth, for hosting this.
Absolutely, Teri. Our pleasure. You know, it's so interesting to feel the land because it felt as much of a land blessing as it did healing for humanity. Because as I look at the land now, it's full and it's vibrant and it's connected and it's healthy and it's ready to grow whatever needs to be grown for. I actually see the land. I don't see humanity. I see the land.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. Thank you.
It is, because the energy of Gaia comes upward through the land. And so doing the clearing, Gaia is able to breathe, able to bring that energy forward in a more powerful way. So I love that you saw that. And yeah, I was feeling the energy in the air and the people, what was residual that was left behind from all the events that had taken place in those 7 generations. And I have hope for the 7 generations coming forward. I have a lot of hope, and I'm going to claim that and claim the promise that we will have peace on our earth.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much for doing this and for answering when Spirit calls and asks for you to do certain things. So thank you.
You're so welcome.
All right, friends here at Enlightened World Network, thank you for holding humanity and the planet in peace and love. So much love to each and every one of you, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.